This is a special report from About Space Today.
Welcome and thanks for joining me for our special report, Go for Launch, May 27. With details on the SpaceX and NASA announcement is Rick Potluck from our Washington Bureau.
Despite the continuing threat from the COVID-19 pandemic, NASA announced its plans to launch astronauts from the Kennedy Space Center May 27th, the first time it has done so in nearly a decade. Jim Bridenstine, NASA's chief administrator, announced the date via Twitter, adding a specific date and time to its plan. If all goes as planned, May 27th at 4:32 p.m., a Space X Falcon 9 rocket will launch with astronauts Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley to the ISS. The last U.S. launch was aboard the Space Shuttle Atlantis, July the 8th, 2011. The May 27 launch, called Demo 2, will launch from historic Launch Pad 39A, the same site for NASA's Apollo and Shuttle missions. NASA has not set a specific duration for the mission, describing as, quote, an extended stay at the space station, end quote. Once the mission is complete, Behnken and Hurley will return to Earth with a splashdown in the Atlantic Ocean off Florida's east coast to be retrieved by a SpaceX recovery ship. NASA has already named the crew for the first operational Crew Dragon mission to follow the Demo 2 launch. That flight would launch NASA astronauts Michael Hopkins, Victor Glover Jr., Shannon Walker, and Japanese astronaut Soichi Noguchi to the ISS sometime after a successful Demo 2. In other space news, a team of scientists from NASA's Kepler Space Telescope has discovered an Earth-sized exoplanet orbiting its star's habitable zone, the area around a star like our Sun, where a rocky planet could support liquid water. The planet, named Kepler 1649c, was discovered when scientists were looking through old observations from Kepler. NASA retired the Kepler back in 2018. While previous searches misidentified the planet, researchers reviewed the data, taking a second look at the planet's signature information and recognized it as a planet. Kepler 1649c is some 300 light-years from our Earth and is 1.06 times larger than our own big blue marble. Also, the amount of starlight it receives from its host star is 75% of the amount of light Earth receives from our Sun, meaning the exoplanet's temperature may be similar to our own planet's as well. There are still many unknowns about Kepler 1649c, such as its atmosphere, but based on what is known, Kepler 1649c is especially intriguing for scientists looking for worlds with potentially habitable conditions. Reporting from the Washington News Bureau, I'm Rick Potluck.
Thank you for joining us for Go for Launch on May 27th. Be part of history and join us for our SpaceX Dragon live launch coverage, which begins just weeks from now. For details, see our Facebook page at aboutspace.today. And be sure to follow us on Facebook and share our program with your family and friends. Join me on Tuesday for the SLS, the world's most powerful rocket, when our series of Return to the Moon to Stay continues. I'm David Denault, and this has been About Space Today's special report.